Assalamu alaikum. In this tutorial, we are going to look at formatted strings in Python programming language. Formatted strings are particularly useful in situations where you want to dynamically generate some text with your variables. Let me show you. Let's say we have two variables, first name and last name. So first we set this to John, and last we set this to Smith. That's better to call these variables first name and last name because they are more descriptive. But here I'm using shorter names because I wanted to see the entire code on the screen. So let's say with these two variables we want to generate some text like this. John in square brackets, Smith is a coder. Let's say we want to print this on a terminal. How do we do this? Well, we define another variable like message. Now here we add the first name. Now, when it concatenates this with a string that contains a space and square bracket, next we need to add the last name. Then we need to add a string that contains the closing square bracket followed by is a coder. Okay, so then if we print message and run this program, we see John Smith is a coder. Right now, while this approach perfectly works, it is not ideal because as our text gets more complicated, it becomes harder to visualize the output. So someone else reading this code, they have to visualize all these strings concatenations in their head. This is where we use formatted strings. They make it easier for us to visualize the output. So I'm going to define another variable. Let's say MSG, short for message, and set this to a formatted string. A formatted string is one that is prefixed with an F. So F quotes that in between the quotes. First, we want to add the value of the first name variable. So we add curly braces, and here we type first. Next, we add a space. We add our square brackets in between the square brackets. We want to display at the last name. So once again we add curly braces and type last. And finally here we type is a coder. So this is what we call a formatted string. With these curly braces are defined in place holders or holes in our string. And when we run our program, these holes will be filled with the value of our variables. So here we have two brace holes or two holes in our string. One is for the value of our first name variable and the other is for the value of the last name variable. Now compare this formatted string concatenation with this format string. We can easily visualize what the output looks like. Right. Now let's print this on a terminal to make sure we get the exact same output. So let's print message. There you go. So John Smith is a coder. So the defined format of strings prefix your strings with an F and use curly braces to dynamically insert values into your string. Finally, I would like to thank you for watching our tutorial. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and push like to each video. Goodbye.